With its latest mid-range smartphone, the Xperia XA2 Ultra, Sony is heading in the right direction, but still feels stuck in the past. My name is Alex Radu, and welcome to All Hands on Tech. It's not that the classic Xperia design doesn't work on the XA2 Ultra. It's the same blocky design with large bezels that Sony has been using on Xperia devices for years, and if you're a Sony fan, chances are you still dig this design scheme. However, personally, the Xperia design is starting to feel a little outdated, although I still think that Sony's matte finish blows glass-backed devices out of the water. And the Xperia XA2 Ultra is big. Granted, that's the point of the Ultra, but this may be too big for some. It's bigger than the Huawei Mate 10 Pro, Google Pixel 2 XL, and Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus, and is simply one of the biggest smartphones I've ever managed. As a 6'5" giant with relatively large hands, I didn't find the phone too uncomfortable, but the size will definitely alienate those who don't want to manage such a large device. The XA2 Ultra has a handy fingerprint sensor on the back of the phone, but that may be an uncomfortable position for those with smaller hands. To justify the size, Sony has a large 6-inch IPS LCD 16:9 aspect ratio display. This is definitely one of the larger displays you'll see on a mid-range device, so if you're looking to watch TV or movies on your phone, this is an extremely solid choice. The display may not be as crisp as those on premium devices, but it still looks sharp. Plus, the XA2 Ultra also has a louder speaker, and while it isn't a stereo speaker and just a single driver on the bottom, it's a solid speaker for that media experience. My only complaint with the display is how inefficient Sony seems to be with the space it has. In 2018, I'm not the first to say that these bezels Sony insists on keeping are seriously becoming outdated. Considering the size of the phone, imagine if Sony had removed these bezels and truly created a screen that dominated the mid-market. Now that would be a media device worth picking up. Software-wise, it's nice that Sony is launching its new Xperia devices with Android 8.0 Oreo, and I appreciate that Sony's custom interface is one of the cleaner third-party software packages. As expected, there are the usual Sony and PlayStation apps, but they can be easily hidden away. Inside the phone, there is a Snapdragon 630, which is fairly standard for a device at this price point, with 4 gigs of RAM. While it's not the most powerful chip around, the XA2 Ultra did not noticeably lag during my time with it, and battery-wise, you'll see a killer battery. It'll easily last a full day, and on limited use, it can last multiple days. However, it doesn't come with a fast charger, which is certainly disappointing. Sony is really highlighting its camera capabilities with the XA2 Ultra, particularly with its 2 front-facing cameras designed for selfies. The main sensor is a 16-megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, with a second wide-angle 8-megapixel camera with 120-degree field of view for group selfies. Over on the rear, the XA2 Ultra has a 23-megapixel camera. Overall, if you're shooting in fairly decent conditions, you'll be pretty happy with what Sony has put out with the XA2 Ultra. For a mid-range smartphone, it certainly gets the job done, and it's not fair to compare it to the likes of the Pixel 2 XL, a device that is double the price. Sure, the XA2 Ultra isn't great in low lighting, and that's probably an understatement, but hey, you get what you pay for, and in this case, it's a fairly solid smartphone camera. Here in Canada, the Xperia XA2 Ultra is available now at Freedom Mobile and Videotron outright for about $520 Canadian. While the XA2 Ultra resides on the higher end of the spectrum for a mid-range smartphone, considering that premium XL devices here in Canada start as high as $1,100, I have no complaints about the price of the XA2 Ultra. Ultimately, I feel like I say this with every Sony device. The Xperia XA2 Ultra is a solid release for mid-range fans of Sony devices, but Sony is going to need to adopt a more modern look before it pulls in the rest of us. Thanks for watching All Hands on Tech. Let us know what you think about the Xperia XA2 Ultra in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe. My name is Alex Radu. Thanks for watching.